Hello everyone and welcome to something new for the channel. Today I'll be covering the Billboard Hot 100's Top 20 in quick overview, giving fast, possibly sentence-long opinions on each song and tallying everything up at the end to see the week's quality. We'll be working with a rating system from -1 to 6 rather than my usual 0 to 10. From bottom to top, exceptional minus, terrible, bad, mediocre, decent, good, great, and exceptional plus. This week's Top 20 is the week of March 30th, 2021, the week which saw big gains for Ariana's 34-35, as well as the entries of a couple potential 2021 smashes which we will be getting to first. Let's jump into this. In this driving ballad, Abel's songwriting and vocal abilities are brought to the fore for a song of conflicting emotions where he can push away and try to pull back in a former lover in the same verse. Not a choice cut from After Hours for me, but still an excellent number and perfect single choice. It is dumb, incredibly dumb, but the fun kind of dumb. CJ, while not excelling, is a charismatic and capable performer, and I'm a sucker for this drill production. Doesn't overstay its welcome at a tight 2 minutes either. This gets a pass, decent ranking. Reggaeton has never really been my favorite genre or area of expertise, but this song, with its pulsating production, alluring performers, and a real grip on atmosphere certainly gets me interested, especially in Bad Bunny's specific genre-blending brand. Very happy that this seems to be getting others intrigued as well, giving this a good. Where did these niggas be at when they say they doing all this and all that? As with the majority of Drake's 2020 offerings, this song features most people involved coasting and it actually working out in a vibey sort of way. Drake's voice and the prominent horns mix to wonderful effect, and Lil Durk's presence is welcome as he ends up blowing Drake out of the water without putting off the flow of the song when Drake gets the mic back. Cautious, but decent hopes for the album. This is a good one. While my opinion on this song has softened a bit since I last covered it, the ridiculous hook is still too grating for me to give the rest of the song the seal of approval that I desperately want to. Just barely worthy of a good ranking, but it could have been higher. Some things just go better together. Luke Combs is generally paired with bombastic modern country production that matches his powerful voice well, but a brilliant combination turns out to be his voice on a spare piano ballad with his sincere declaration of love backed up by an amount of cliché to make this track cheesy but never unappealingly so. A standout country song from the past year, this gets an excellent. What if you had it all? While lyrically the song brings some interesting ideas to the table, they're not fleshed out enough in the song's short length and are let down somewhat by a few nitpicks with the vocals and sound. There's not much that truly irks me about this though, so I'm inclined to be kind and say decent. I'm not your friend or anything. Billie easily pulls off the playfully sour vibe demanded by this cut, accompanied by her usual sharp writing and inventive electronic production courtesy of Phineas. Fairly wrote by her standards of quality, but considering those standards, this is still on the high end of good. Despite the political persuasion of the singer, the original I Hope is a pretty good song, although having nothing on Before He Cheats. However, Puth's unconvincing nature as the guy in the story, plus the incomprehensible laziness of the Unchanged hook completely ruins every strength the original had. Easy terrible. I did some wrong, but I'm always right. Pop Smoke's hook can be corny at points, but is still serviceable, as is the production, but both babies try playing in their usual lanes and it fails to fit Pop Smoke's sound, especially in DaBaby's case. One of the weaker cuts from Pop Smoke's album, this gets a mediocre. While the song is well written, lyrics take a backseat here for the atmosphere, and this song is honestly one of the most beautiful I've ever heard. Everything about this, from SZA's dreamy performance to the slightly psychedelic acoustic line, worked to stunning effect, giving us 5 minutes of pure bliss, already shaping up to be an early hit of the decade contender, an easy exceptional plus. AJR have continuously irritated me to no end with their over-the-top, pretentious, inane lyrics, and making their production, which before this didn't stoop so low, fit the same mold does the opposite of helping. The fact that this, probably the worst single they've ever released, broke them into the mainstream, if possibly only for a brief moment, is an injustice. Maybe not to them, but definitely to us. Easy terrible. This one's shrunk on me a fair bit since I reviewed it. While I still think the melodies and Bieber's performance are pleasant enough to the ear, there's still nothing particularly interesting to latch onto other than the bad moments. In other words, everything Chance does here and a good chunk of the writing. Still way better than the majority of changes. Low end of mediocre for this. I feel dirty praising a Chris Brown song, but I can't deny the catchiness and fun this song successfully brings to the table, with Brown himself not doing half bad on the mic, at least by his standards. Thugger, though, is the real reason I give this song a pass, as his quality is through the roof. Giving it decent to this. I got you. This is the song on this list that gets my serotonin going like no other. All the elements here are just filled with the purest joy imaginable, and the addition of DaBaby adds some variety into the mix. My favorite from Future Nostalgia that I'm so glad is hitting it big. Easy excellent. The more sexual nature of Ariana's latest project is brought to the fore again, as she sings about what she can do for a lover over some nice poppy trap R&B production. This is about the same level as 3435 for me, but there's much stronger on the album. Decent for this. As supermassive as it is for a reason. A throwback track that feels like a lost masterpiece from the times, Abel brings some of the best of the 80s to the modern age while still maintaining his unique flair for a song that hits all the right notes, full of the energy and excitement that was so needed throughout 2020. Excellent track. Can't wait to see if it can become the biggest ever. While I was absolutely on board for this song when it came out and began its dominant streak, it definitely doesn't hold up to Overplay. Disregarding that, though, this is still a strong radio song that, despite the lyrical content not matching up, is high-spirited and fun throughout. I'll give it a good. Can you stay up all night? Fuck me to... Covering the original here instead of the remix, as the credit has now been reassigned. Teasingly coy, corny, and genuinely seductive are all hard boxes to tick together, and while the song has its weaknesses, mostly in some lyrics and overall weak production, I think all three conditions are met, and Ariana gets done what she set out to do with this, though not with flying colors. Upper end of decent. And I know we weren't perfect. Derivative, yes, but of some of the 2010's strongest acts that I don't think Olivia is far off from either. She's already got chops as a singer and a strong pen game with sublime production backing her up. Very happy about it being an early shout for 2021's defining hit and now a multi-week #1. It's getting an excellent. So there's our 20. This week we had no exceptional minus songs, 2 terrible songs, no bad songs, 2 mediocre songs, 5 decent songs, 5 good songs, 5 excellent songs, and 1 exceptional plus song. That gives us a score of 70 out of 100. This week was incredibly strong, and future videos will have a long way to go to top this one. 2021 is off to an amazing start that I hope it can keep up in the same way 2020 for the most part did. This has been the Top 20 Overview. See you next time.